And this one is called How to Handle Pirates in Star Citizen 318. This is from DedLeader once again. And see how this goes.
Jolly Rogers, after your booty? Do your loins tense up when you hear you're being targeted? Worried that your precious salvage is about to become the property of some ragtag ruffians? Well, hear this, citizen. My name's DedLeader, and I'm going to teach you how to protect yourself out there so Blackbeard keeps his greasy mitts off of your cargo.
DedLeader.
Imagine you're out
Is
there
the whole thing gonna be like
this?
this?
Rock, citizen, filling your galley up with all the high-priced goods that you can carry. You man the helm to begin ascent when all of a sudden you see Jolly sprays the side of your sloop with a hail of
I thought it was just going to be the intro.
musket fire. At this point, you need to assess the situation as fast as possible to discern your options. Firstly,
Fallout vibes?
what kind of ship am I in? A cargo barge? A speedy sloop? Do I have upgraded components? These factors will help you decide your next move. If you're slow and weak, and stand no chance of surviving a real encounter, you should focus on getting out of there in the most quick and direct manner possible.
But if you're slow, how do you do that?
Well, if you've got some shields and guns on you, and maybe a co-pilot, perhaps you can overwhelm your opponent with a little trouble. But can you fight? Do you have any combat experience? Can you easily discern your opponent's strength? This is something you can't waste your time figuring out. A common mistake people make when coming under fire is they stop what they're doing, face their attacker, and fire back, or open up global chat and start typing to reason or yell at them. And
they would type just like that.
This is exactly what the aggressor wanted in the first place, to startle you and throw you off from escaping successfully. I recommend, if you come under fire, always continue your path as quickly as possible to the closest exit. This means if you're in atmosphere, point your ship up 90 degrees, fire your boosters to hit top speed, and spool your QT drive for it to go once you're free from atmosphere. You're likely able to discern any information you may need from your attacker passively while you're doing this anyway. Best not to break your concentration, giving them the time to make ground on you. Once you've successfully managed to QT away, remember, jollies can jump also. So if you've jumped to a location nearby, quickly face another location marker and jump once more.
Why decouple? Because you'll be getting into the point where you can use your quantum drive, but you're able to turn your ship in any direction freely and then point to a good quantum location and leave.
Since if they're an adamant bunch, they may still be riding your tail. But
and it's faster,
yeah. Flee? Are you in atmosphere, unable to QT away? Do the jollies have a QT jammer in range blocking your escape? Is your QT drive spooled and ready to go? When upgrading your ship, the first component you should consider upgrading is your QT drive. Since not only can you easily increase the range you can jump, but often you can halve the amount of time it takes for your QT drive to spool up or cool down.
Yeah.
And those seconds are precious when coming under fire. If your QT drive is spooling much faster than the enemy is able to successfully damage your shields, then you're laughing, old sport. And they're likely placing their bets on you breaking your focus from achieving this task. If the jollies have a QT jammer, and there's multiple targets gaining on you, you will have a split second to identify their jammer. Their range is usually about 2 clicks, so they need to be...
Honestly, some of the best things to do is just sadly bring friends and be in turrets and all those things
close
as well. But this is good advice.
Ask yourself, which one is the jammer? Can I successfully outrun their range to jump to safety? Jammers can...
You cannot outrun the jammers. So, like, let me go back a little bit. It sounds like he's about to say you can't, but I'm give him the benefit of the doubt.
Which one is the jammer? Can I successfully outrun their range to jump to safety? Jammers can usually be quite fragile ships, so if escape isn't an option for them, it may be beneficial to engage their jammer as terrain.
Again, you cannot outrun a Mantis. It is the fastest ship.
As hard as possible, ignoring the other potentially more dangerous threats.
In comparison to anything that would be pirated.
You can jump away. But even if you can just scare them enough to back away a bit, you may be able to break their focus off on you, giving you the precious time to get out of their range and far away enough to jump. Those are the basic techniques you need in order to shake a jolly off your booty, but it doesn't end there, old chap. Knowing the enemy's intentions helps to discern what you might need to do in engagement, and very easily might be the trick you need to turn the tides of battle. Ask yourself this: what's at risk? Do I have valuable cargo? Do I have high-value gear equipped? If you don't stand to lose much by engaging them, then you can afford to be a bit reckless with your behavior. Secondly, who is this enemy likely to be? Organized pirates? Do they travel in packs, likely to have scanned and observed what you have planned on making your loot their own? Or are they grievous, scoundrels, who just want to stop you from achieving whatever you were doing?
I mean,
These hooligans usually don't have any gear
that would be the same result.
on them, and are more than likely willing to kill themselves just in an attempt to kill you.
Oh, I see what you're
Unskilled and
saying. The griefer types would ram if they're losing, because I've seen that many times. If that's the only option, they'll take a ram over actually losing the fight.
They're likely to take offense by you successfully ignoring them. Or opportunists, who may have just randomly scanned you and realized that you were a vulnerable position with a lot of loot on you and worth the crime stat if engaged. They're unlikely to be in groups or to be prepared to actually take you on as long as you're sitting in your pilot seat ready to go. But remember, no matter the villain, the rules stay the same. Don't get distracted. Don't attempt to argue with them. Stay cool, calm, and collected, and you'll be okay, citizen. My name's DedLeader. Stay safe out there in the verse, citizen. Hear this, hear this. Have you subscribed to DedLeader? Please, subscribe and like this video for more content from the leader who's dead.
My voice hurts.
DedLeader.
Jolly Roger's really frying your pickles. Are you sick of the jollies jumping on your hoochie mama?
Jesus.
I've asked ye, citizen. It's the jollies. Hold on to your booty.
I would say
they're coming for.
I would say he took the bit too far. Personally, I think it's great for an intro, but I wouldn't have continued watching that. But I think generally it's decent advice. It's just hard to even hear the advice or catch it and all that with all the extra old-timey speak and all that. But running away is mostly your only option in these scenarios. And then if they're normal pirates, like, they're going to come with a ship that QT jams you. So you're usually, in my experience, most ship pilots are not good enough to fight off anybody who does this regularly, and your best chance is fighting them in FPS or dealing with them in a way of hey, I'll give you half the cargo if you let me go, I'll give you some money if you let me go, blah 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 blah. So that's usually the best way. But as we know about Mongrel Squad, there's not going to be any of that, unfortunately. But again, I think honestly and truly in 3.18, this will be the first time that actually bringing protection means something. I always used to think that was a very toxic thing to say when a PvPer tells you to bring protection when they pirate you in previous patches. For the first time, I feel that that's actually a relevant thing to do. Would be just get in turrets, like Drac is saying in chat. If you have a Connie, get in the Merlin and try and fight off the jammer, right? Like, the game is a multiplayer game, and the ships that you're flying are multiplayer ships. You can't really be mad when you lose to a group in a ship that is meant to be crewed by a group, I think. So, yeah, that's how I look at that one. But I don't know. Any other advice I might give? I think the quantum travel advice is the best. If you know you're not doing, for example, let's say you're doing salvage and you know you're not going to be traveling really long distances like a cargo hauler might, you would choose a different quantum drive based off of the advice that DedLeader gives. Like that's where that's like really solid advice is you can go to Urkel and check, it's urkel.games, EKURL.games. If I always forget to put the links in the description, so I'm sure I'll forget here as well. So that's how you get to it, is look up the spool up time for some quantum drives, and they might make a lot more sense for a salvage team to use instead of something else, right? So I would honestly go with that. In the sense of the quantum drive, the shields, not much you can really do there. Good, competent people are going to get you. The only thing that good, competent protection will do is hopefully keep you alive a little bit longer. But most of these scenarios in the ships that we currently have, in the state that they're in, are almost always losses, in my experience. I've made some arguments of, I wonder what ships like the Prospector, ships like the Mole, ships like the Reclaimer. Reclaimer's pretty good, but other ships would need to maybe survive these a little bit longer. I would love to see more drawn-out fights between industrial ships and piracy groups. I think that would be really cool. But I think the only way to have that happen is to come with about as many people as they come with, right? So one day we'll start to see fair fights between a piracy group and a cargo hauling racket or something like that. One day. But for now, Star Citizen is very much played in a solo experience. And I think DedLeader understands his audience and gives good advice for those players. So let me link this video, even though, yes, I think he took the bit a little too far, really too far. I think it's a really good video worth sharing. So there you go, guys.